repeat, these two circles are not equal. One is in fact larger than the other. What I need you to do is determine which one that is. So, please raise your hand if you believe the blue circle is larger than the red. All right. Please raise your hand if you believe the red circle is larger than the blue. All right, very good. Now, before I said anything about these two circles, what was your first instinct? Equal, right? Because they look equal. And the reason why they look equal is because, in fact, they are equal. These two circles are identical. Yet I got just about every one of you to raise your hand and say that they're not. So what do we learn? That you can be manipulated like that to believe in something that goes against your natural instinct. Just imagine as a child you're taught that the blue circle is larger than the red. If you say it enough times, you convince yourself that's the truth. If you're told the lie enough times, it becomes part of your reality. And if enough people are taught that lie, that the blue circle is larger than the red, well, now it becomes part of the culture. And if that culture then passes that misinformation along to the next generation, well, now it becomes tradition. And what we have to remember is that just because we have a tradition doesn't mean it's morally acceptable. Tradition and morality are not always the same. So the traditions we have today doesn't necessarily mean they're morally acceptable. And as we evolve as a culture, so do our traditions. Now, The Matrix is a story. It's a story. When told enough times to enough people, it becomes part of that culture. It becomes the tradition. And this story is being told over and over every day. In fact, if you believe the image on the carton is where you're getting your milk from, you're deceiving yourself. This is a fantasy. It only exists in your head. It's a blue pill fed to you by the industry to get you to buy their product. This is the Matrix.
And how long will we be getting live views, do you think, from the car?
Well, I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible. And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly. We'd have way better CGI if it was fake. From Mark Cameron.
Whilst in space, have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
Yeah, because you can see, because you can see the stars.
Oh yeah,
you know, and pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
I do realize that when you were on the moon, you had very little time for gazing upwards. But could you tell us something about what the sky actually looks like from the moon, the sun, the earth, the stars, if any, and so on?
The sky is a deep black when viewed from the moon, as it is when viewed from cislunar space, the space between the Earth and the moon. The Earth is the only visible object other than the sun.
No, you can't see the sun in free space.
So the sun is not visible in outer space?
Not in free space. It's only invisible when gross matter becomes involved, like the Earth's atmosphere and envelope and the surface of the moon or whatever. That makes the light. Otherwise, there is no light. You can see the moon, you can see the Earth, but you can't see the sun or you can't see the stars.
not what it looks like. And the minute you get out of the atmosphere, you got no reflection between you and that. You can't see it.
So if you took if you went in outer space and took a pinhole camera with just raw photographic film on the back,
something that
no lens in between to diffract with, you're not going to get an image of light.
You may get an image in the infrared or something else. There is no.
Okay.
There's nothing in the visible spectrum. The visible spectrum effect of the sun is created by the upper atmosphere.
Right.
So the Earth, Earth reflecting off the atmosphere.
No, the radiation from the sun. I mean, but the thing is, what you see is, you see a yellow orb in a blue background because the upper atmosphere actually diffracts the light into those two spectrums.
Right.
You don't just see orange against black. You don't just see blues. You know, you always see the yellow and blue.
So if I understand it correctly, if I took the pinhole camera, pointed at the sun, I will get no image. But if I pointed it at the moon or the Earth, I would get an image because it's reflecting off.
You see the objects that the light reflects off.
But the sun, I would get no image unless I was in a different spectrum.
Because you're pointing it right at the source of light. Because you can't, because light is not visible.
Right.
You cannot see the light. We have been lied to in such a wholesale manner about almost the nature of everything.
But you can see the planets and
Yeah.
the satellite.
Right, you can see material objects, but you cannot see the sources of light. There is no light until there's a material object.
To reflect on.
So that means there's no time delay. So the whole time delay thing is meaningless. It doesn't take light years. There are no light years because there's no light. So that means that the light you see from the distant stars isn't 4 million years old. It could be only minutes old. It could be instantaneous. All the theories collapse when you can't see the stars in outer space.